1. Using the wrong type of luggage. Checking a bag should be easy. Drop it off, wave goodbye, and see it again at your destination, right? But the second that suitcase disappears behind the check-in counter, it enters a world that operates on zero patience and even less mercy. Conveyor belts don't have feelings. Cargo holds aren't gentle. And that soft-sided duffel with hanging straps and decorative zippers, that bag is in trouble. Here's the reality. Checked bags get thrown, jammed, stacked, and sometimes dropped from heights that would make a chiropractor wince. Soft luggage with dangling handles or exposed zippers becomes a liability the moment it hits the belt. Loose fabric gets caught in the machinery, straps rip, pockets tear open, and if that happens mid-transfer, guess what? That bag's not making it to the plane on time. Hardshell luggage, on the other hand, is built for this. Smooth exterior, minimal outer features, no loose bits, just a solid polycarbonate shell that can take a hit and keep sliding. It's not about style, it's about survival. A suitcase should be a tank, not a tote bag. The best bags have clean lines, recessed zippers, and no outer distractions. Baggage handlers have said it loud and clear. If a suitcase is clean and flat, it moves faster and safer. Anything with straps and side pockets, that's a jam waiting to happen. So the next time luggage shopping comes up, skip the trendy canvas and pick something that looks like it could handle a bar fight. Because in the world of checked bags, it kind of has to. 2. Leaving old tags and stickers on. Every bag tells a story, but in the airport system, it should tell only one: today's. Every old airline sticker or barcode still stuck to that suitcase is a potential detour to the wrong destination. It's easy to ignore that faded tag from last year's Vegas trip, but scanners don't ignore them. And if one of those old barcodes gets picked up by the system, that suitcase might end up in Dallas when the flight is headed to Denver. Even worse, it could be sent on a completely different airline's network. Baggage systems are fast and mostly automated. They're scanning, sorting, and routing based on code, not human logic. The fix? Clean slate. Before leaving home, strip the bag of anything that isn't for the current flight. Every old sticker, every previous trip's barcode, anything that could confuse the system. A checked bag should be shouting one thing only: this airport, this flight, this destination. Anything else is noise. And in baggage handling, noise becomes chaos fast. 3. Bad customization choices. Sure, a black suitcase is classic, but at baggage claim, it's an identity crisis waiting to happen. There are 90 other black bags coming around the carousel, and that tiny luggage tag with someone's initials? Useless from 20 feet away. Personalizing a suitcase is smart, but the way it's done can make all the difference. A ribbon tied around the handle might seem clever until it gets caught in the conveyor belt and yanks half the zipper open. Rainbow straps? Some baggage handlers have straight up admitted they use those to grab and toss bags faster. Not ideal. What actually works is flat, bold, unmistakable marks. 4. Making your bag look expensive. Some bags scream, "Steal me," without even trying. Designer logos, high-end leather, expensive detailing, it all looks great rolling through a 5-star lobby. But in the cargo hold, it's a different story. Flashy bags attract attention, and not the good kind. Sometimes from thieves, sometimes from overly curious inspectors, and sometimes from baggage handlers who assume there might be something worth poking around inside. A simple luggage cover can fix that. Throw a stretchy sleeve over that $500 roller bag, and suddenly it looks like something picked up at a thrift store. Even better, it adds protection. From forklift scuffs, from black grease, from mystery liquids that somehow exist in every cargo hold, no matter how new the airport. Some travelers go full plastic wrap, especially on international flights. And while that does help with tamper-proofing, many baggage handlers admit they hate it. Wrapped bags can't roll. If the wheels jam, those bags get dragged. Literally. right across concrete. So disguise, don't overwrap. 5. Not using a TSA-approved lock. There's a strange comfort in locking a suitcase, that satisfying click that says, "You're safe now." Except, if it's not a TSA-approved lock, that click means nothing. When a bag gets flagged for inspection and the lock can't be opened with a master key, there's no courtesy call, no gentle warning. The lock just gets snipped, gone. Sometimes the broken parts get tossed. Sometimes the suitcase gets zip-tied like a crime scene. TSA-approved locks solve this problem before it starts. They're marked with a small red diamond, meaning agents can open them, inspect the bag, then relock it. No damage, no mess. These locks don't stop thieves, but they do stop the zipper from being ripped apart. 6. Not documenting what's inside. Most people don't plan to lose their luggage, so they don't prepare for what comes next, the airline's question. Can you describe what was inside? And that's where it all falls apart. Was the charger in that bag or the other one? Which jacket was packed? What color were the headphones? Memory goes blank fast, especially after a long flight and zero sleep. A quick photo changes everything. Just lay everything out before zipping the suitcase, snap one clear shot, and done. 7. Packing valuables in checked bags. Every day, travelers check things that never should leave their sight. Jewelry, electronics, passports, medication, even cash. And every day, those bags get delayed, misrouted, or flat out lost. The rule's simple. If losing it would ruin the trip, it doesn't go in checked luggage. Period. Airlines cover basic losses, but there are caps, and they rarely include high-value personal items. One lost laptop? That's on the traveler, not the airline. Even well-packed valuables aren't safe from damage. Cabin pressure can pop lids, shifting weight can crush corners, and one loose cologne bottle can turn a bag into a beauty product explosion. 8. Ignoring liquid rules for checked bags. Packing liquids in a checked bag seems easy. After all, it's not the carry-on. There's no 3-1-1 rule. But the danger here isn't security, it's physics. At 35,000 feet, cabin pressure shifts, lids swell, bottles pop open, and a sleek glass bottle of duty-free perfume can become a chemical weapon inside a suitcase. Clothes soak, shoes get ruined, everything smells like a spa accident. The fix is basic. Seal everything. Zip-top bags, travel-size bottles with leak-proof caps, and for high-risk liquids, double bag it. Stick them in the center of the suitcase, cushioned by soft clothes, and away from electronics or valuables. Packing a bottle like it's going into space might sound dramatic, but it's better than showing up at a hotel smelling like a shampoo aisle meltdown. 9. Checking prohibited items. The TSA doesn't only care about carry-ons. Checked bags have their own list of forbidden items, and breaking those rules doesn't just slow things down. It can mean confiscation or full denial of the bag. Things like pepper spray, camping fuel, fireworks, and certain lithium batteries. Immediate red flags. Even something innocent, like a souvenir knife, can get a bag flagged for full inspection and removed from loading. TSA won't tell travelers on the spot either. It's on each person to check in advance. Their website, What Can I Bring?, lets users type in any item and find out if it's allowed in carry-on, checked, both, or neither. And flying internationally, that's a whole new game. Some countries ban things that TSA allows. Always double-check the destination's rules, especially when souvenirs or gear are involved. 10. Failing to pack a change of clothes in carry-on. The plane lands, the carousel spins, everyone grabs their bags, except one. That suitcase? Still at the departure airport, or maybe heading somewhere else entirely. When a checked bag goes missing, there's one trick that can save the day: packing a full change of clothes in the carry-on. Shirt, socks, underwear, maybe even something to sleep in. Especially when traveling with kids, splitting their clothes across multiple bags is a lifesaver. One parent once packed a backup outfit for their child in each suitcase, and when the kid's main bag went missing, it wasn't a disaster, just a slight detour. A little prep turns a luggage problem into a mild inconvenience, because sometimes your bag is delayed actually means you won't see it for 3 days. 11. Checking in your bag. Too early. Getting to the airport early is smart, but checking in a bag too early? That's a quiet mistake no one talks about. When a bag is checked several hours before departure, it doesn't just hang out waiting, it gets tossed into the system and then sits, unattended, vulnerable. The earlier it enters the system, the more chances it has to be misplaced, pulled off for weight balancing, or straight up forgotten. Handlers have said it themselves. The first bags checked are often the first ones loaded, and sometimes the first ones pulled off if space or weight needs adjusting. Bags checked closer to the boarding window tend to stay in the active flow and get handled less. It's not about cutting it close, it's about smart timing. About 45 minutes before boarding is ideal. That sweet spot reduces the time a suitcase is alone in the wild and increases the odds that it shows up right when and where it's supposed to. 12. Not tracking the bag yourself. Once a suitcase disappears behind that check-in counter, it's out of sight, out of control, unless tracking it personally. Most major airlines now offer real-time luggage updates through their apps. They'll ping when the bag's been scanned, when it's loaded onto the plane, and even what carousel it'll hit after landing. It's surprisingly accurate when it works. But for peace of mind, that's where tracking devices come in. A tiny GPS tag like an Apple AirTag or Samsung Smart Tag turns a suitcase into a smart bag. Drop one in, pair it with the phone, and suddenly that bag isn't invisible anymore. One traveler had a bag go missing. The airline had no clue where it was, but the phone said it was still back at the departure gate. That real-time map helped recover it in minutes. Just tuck the tag under a liner or inside a zippered pouch. It's FAA approved, under the lithium limit, and has saved more than a few vacations. 13. Not adding ID inside the bag. A luggage tag is helpful until it gets soaked in rain, ripped off in the cargo hold, or smeared beyond recognition. Then it's just a bag with no name. That's where a backup ID comes in. A simple card inside the suitcase with full name, phone number, email, and destination address can make the difference between a lost bag and a quick return. Stick it under the top flap. Better yet, zip it into an inside pocket in a plastic tag or laminated sleeve. Something sturdy, something readable. The outside label says who it belongs to. The inside ID says who it gets returned to. 2 chances to get it right. And when it comes to luggage, that's double the odds of getting it back without a drama-filled claim process. 14. Not checking special items immediately. Some luggage isn't just clothes and shoes. Think instruments, medical equipment, sports gear, or expensive tech. These items ride in checked luggage, but they don't bounce back from rough handling like a bag of t-shirts. The moment those specialty items come off the carousel, they need to be inspected. Right there, before exiting the airport. Because once the sliding doors open and the traveler walks out, filing a damage claim becomes 10 times harder. A cracked guitar neck, a bent tripod, a shattered monitor. All of it becomes a he said, she said situation once it's out of the airport. One passenger spotted a cracked wheelchair frame immediately after grabbing it. The airline covered the replacement without a fight because it was caught on the spot. If it's fragile or expensive, stop and check it before leaving. 2 minutes of caution can save weeks of back and forth paperwork and denial emails. 15. Packing like the bag won't get tossed. Many travelers pack their suitcases like they'll be handled with care, as if each bag is gently placed on velvet rollers and escorted to the plane. But the truth? Checked luggage gets tossed, flipped, rolled, dropped, shoved, and occasionally, yes, dragged. Baggage handlers have shared stories. Overpacked bags, they burst on impact. Outer pockets, they rip and spill contents like confetti. Four-wheeled suitcases get rolled. Two-wheeled ones, those get launched. Plastic-wrapped bags, slippery, hard to grip, and more likely to get slammed. Packing like a baggage handler is watching means preparing for war. Reinforce fragile items. Don't put pressure on seams. Use inner compartments, compression cubes, and don't overfill. If something matters, keep it away from the edges. If it's valuable, don't put it there at all. The suitcase doesn't just need to survive the journey, it needs to win it. Because between conveyor belts, forklifts, and very tired humans working 12-hour shifts in the rain, that bag's going to see things. Better to send it into battle ready. If this breakdown saved you from a future luggage disaster, pass it on. Share this with a travel buddy, someone who always checks a bag, or that friend who's still taping their suitcase shut with masking tape. And if you've got a luggage horror story, drop it in the comments. Let others learn the easy way, not the hard way. More travel tips, stories, and breakdowns coming soon. So don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never fly blind again.